everybody, and welcome to Catch Canvas. Now, like I said in previous videos, I like to do visual novel stuff, and dating sims seem to fit in that. Sometimes I get sucked in via the art, and it's not just the boobs, it's actually, like, the art of this game actually caught my attention. It just happens to have a lot of what I would consider fan service, and boobs. And boobs and boobs. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and start this game. I'm going to do some terrible, terrible girl voices, and you guys will get to hear all that. So, what is my name? Let's be Flog, and we'll be male this time. This time, I'm male. Can I click on male? Is that not a thing I can do? Do I have to click on... Oh, no. Okay. Do I just hit enter? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I was very confused. I thought I had to pick female, but there you go. With a loud hiss, the bus behind me took off, departing from what I could only assume was the last stop for the day. It had dropped me off high on the mountains, but not so high that I couldn't smell the sweet scent of the sea nearby. Okay, map. Not even bothering to try my phone's GPS, I grabbed the crumpled map inside my back pocket. Lucky I packed this. There's no way my uncle would live somewhere with service. As a famous artist, my uncle's choice to live in isolation doesn't surprise most people. They all assume that the famous Miyazuki family is a recluse, or that he can't afford to get distracted. In truth, however, he distances himself for the sake of his students, the children of famous clientele with whom he should not be seen. He holds secret art classes for a handful of his brightest students, all within the confines of his private cabin by the beach. And from today on, I will be living and studying among them. Just you wait, Uncle. It may have taken me a couple of months to making endless calls and sending pricey oil paintings, but now that you've accepted me, I will surpass you in no time, and I'm gonna get dim boobies. I'll take your secret classes, learn all of your techniques, and become famous beyond your wildest dreams. Following the map I had taken with me, I soon located my uncle's cabin. This must be the place! Breaking out into a full sprint, I couldn't help but succumb to my excitement. Uncle's cabin is not only by the sea, but also surrounded by a wholesome and rustic exterior, free from the modern world, except for the fact that there's a vending machine right next to his house. Yes, this is without a doubt where the oil painting masters are made. Away from civilization, studying with fellow artists, completely unaffected by the outside world. After spending the summer here, I'm sure to become a master. Despite my enthusiasm, I slowed down as I reached the front of the building. Inside, I could hear the voices of Uncle's other students, all of whom arrived before me. And suddenly, I felt nervous. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be the youngest person in this class. I'm only 20, and my uncle's students usually have decades of experience. I just hope that they'll accept me once they see I'm serious about painting. Okay, calm down, Flog. This will be your first impression, so make it a good one. After taking one last breath of sea air, I turned the handle on the cabin door. Good afternoon, my name is Flog Sindo. Despite my young age, I'm a new student of this class. Please take care of me, because I am now blind and cannot see anything. From walking inside, I am now blind. In response to my entrance, the chatter inside the cabin stopped, and my self-introduction invited only silence. That is, until... Hee, what an introduction. Who the hell is this? The Powerpuff Girls. Now, as I lifted my head and opened my eyes, the sight of 3 beautiful women awaited me. What the heck? Where is Uncle? And where are his students? I didn't get the wrong cabin, did I? I turned my head from side to side, frantically taking in everyone and everything. The room was indeed similar to an art classroom, but I was fairly certain that I had gotten the right cabin. But with that being the case, I still couldn't locate my uncle or his students. Where is Miyazuki-sama? You'd better not be here to tell me that he isn't coming back. Hey, chill out, weren't you listening? Flog is our new classmate. As the girls stared at me, the one piece of information they let slip entered my mind. Did she just say, our new classmate? That can't be right. My uncle's students are all in their 30s and 40s. These three are probably the daughters of his students. I'm sure Uncle is out right now with his actual students. You three, I don't suppose you know where Miyazuki-sensei is. We were hoping you could tell us. The Gyaru nodded her head toward the chair. I don't know what that means, and I probably mispronounced that. Towards the chair, which I found a small white piece of paper. Whip these girls into shape by the time I get back, or there will be no art class. Whip them into... Wait, what? You girls are all Uncle's pupils? Well, yeah. Didn't I say we were your classmates? I see. Did he say anything before he left? The pink-haired girl pointed to the center of the room. Standing there was the statue of Mars, easily recognizable by any oil painter worth his salt. Mars, also known as Ares, the god of war. This piece is a staple on most standardized tests for college applications. Going by Uncle's letter, I guess that would make this his test. I need to have each of these girls sketch Mars on their easels and then recreate the statue. Did Uncle tell you when he expected the finished product? We should still have another 2 weeks left. 2 weeks? I rushed over to the leftmost easel, leaping over an array of half-finished manga pages and ink bottles. Let's see what we have here. Oh god, this one may still be in the sketching phase, but it's freaking awful. The figure's all lopsided, and she didn't even take his helmet into account. What's with the rainbow? There's no rainbow over there. I don't see a rainbow. I shot the girl an incredulous look. She was still humming, sketching away at her page. How did she even get into Uncle's class? I moved over to the next girl. Hey, not so close. Ignoring her protests, I moved close to see her sketch. Okay, this one is alright. She has a good foundation and not a total lost cause, but it's still just a sketch. Finally, I moved over to the easel of the girl who hadn't said a word since I arrived. And, of course, her paper is still blank. Suddenly feeling weak, I sat down on the fourth chair. A bust of Mars takes 3 weeks on average to complete. Now Uncle has left me a note saying that I need to whip these girls into shape in 2 weeks. I should have known that Uncle would have an ulterior motive in letting me come here. But this... I turned to face the girls around me. The Gyaru, with clean and elaborately painted fingernails, sat before a half-complete sketch. The humming pink-haired girl in the corner continued to doodle manga on the floor. Finally, the dark-haired girl remained motionless in her seat, sitting before a completely blank canvas. Is this really my famous uncle's class? Clearing my throat, I arose from my seat. It took me months to convince Uncle to even let me attend this class. If I'm able to impress him, I'll get the once-in-a-lifetime chance most artists can only dream of. Gallery space at the Sukiyaki exhibit. A reward he only gives his most prized pupils. If getting these girls to sketch Mars in 2 weeks is the challenge, then so be it. Okay, moving on. When did the assignment start exactly? Oh, the Mars thing? I think 1 month ago? A whole month! It's been 1 month, and yet all they have is these crappy sketches? No. Calm down, Floyd. Stay focused. Okay, no big deal. We just need to make up for some lost time. I guess we'd better get started if we want to complete these within 2 weeks. Who put you in charge? The Gyaru girl made her way out of her chair and pointed an accusatory finger in my face. Furthermore, you didn't even ask our names. What sort of sorry introduction was that? How rude. An eyebrow twitched in response to the Gyaru girl's confrontation. You were supposed to introduce yourself when I did. Why should I have to ask for your name? You're the rude one here, damn Gyaru. My deepest apologies. Won't you please bestow upon me the honor of learning your name, fair maiden? My name is Estelle. I'm Natchan. Pleased to meet you. The big-haired girl on the floor jumped to her feet in record time, striking a pose. The dark-haired girl continued to remain silent, even as I stared at her. She shifted uncomfortably on her stool, then quickly averted her eyes. That's Dawn. She's really shy. After introducing themselves, the girls returned to what they were doing, paying me no further mind. This is going to be difficult. Having learned the names of my so-called classmates, I sat back down. Oh well, this may be a weird situation, but it's nothing worth fretting over, right? These girls were probably just waiting for me to come join them so they wouldn't get too far ahead. Perhaps they really are all geniuses? Finding the necessary utensils readily at hand, I sharpened the softer charcoal stick with my X-Acto blade. Then I looked at the statue in front of me, already familiar with it from the countless numbers of times I'd drawn it in the past. The trick is getting the basic shape down. Any complicated pieces like this can be broken up into simple circular shapes and lines. If you don't get the perspective and the form down first, you'll find yourselves backed into a corner when it comes time to paint. I soon lost myself in the art of drawing, ignoring the world around me. Everything seemed to fade away, almost as though my sketch and I were only two things in existence. Yeah! And then I'll have him say, Mineko, you are my one and only. But not quite. Even as I devoted myself to drawing, the piercing laugh of Nachan prevented me from completely immersing myself. She continued to scribble her awful manga, talking to herself the entire time. Ugh, I messed up my nails again. I'll have to redo that one. As if it wasn't bad enough, the sharp scent of nail polish filled the room as Nana used her spot to paint her own nails. And finally, Dawn sent me frequent nervous glances. So much for the peaceful serenity of the mountains. At this rate, I'm never going to get anything done. By the time I looked at the clock, 3 hours had passed. Despite the distractions all around me, I managed to immerse myself in my work, losing track of time completely. Whew, that went better than I thought it would. I can be pretty single-minded when it comes to art. I often forget to eat, bathe, and even sleep if I'm working on something big. If I can keep this pace, I'll soon be able to add details and prep to my sketch for a large canvas. Setting my tools away neatly, I peeked around the room, hoping that my classmates might have made similar progress. The moment I checked on their work, however, I realized how hopelessly optimistic I was being. Silly Shiratori, you can't do that. Here, let me draw you a bigger net. Laying face down on the floor, Nachan made significant progress in her chicken scratch manga. Then I turned to Dawn, who quickly averted her gaze and spied her blank canvas still completely untouched. Last but not least, the Jieru isn't even here. Forget mastering local secret techniques, I've been thrown into the remedial class. I like this story. I really do. I've always been interested in art, so there you go. I can't draw, but I love art. Yep. After my first night in Uncle's cabin, I woke up feeling refreshed and focused. The tumultuous feelings I had the day before had become nothing but a small blip on the radar, overpowered by the wonders of a good night's sleep. Whew. There really is nothing good rest can't fix. I was probably just tired from that long bus ride. Even if I'm not an overly positive person, I understand that negative feelings won't get me any closer to my dream of being in Uncle's art gallery. I've come too far to let Uncle's assignment get me down. I'll make sure those 3 girls complete the assignment no matter what. Besides, they wouldn't be here if they didn't have any talent. Or if they didn't have any talent. I just need to figure out how to make them shine. Descending the staircase leading to my bedroom, I headed into the common area of the household. The cabin was separated into 2 parts, the art classroom and the living facilities. Since I spent most of my first day in the classroom, I hadn't seen much of the household, and my grumbling stomach told me it was about time I did so. I was too tired and frustrated to eat dinner last night, but that excuse won't cut it this morning. I guess it's time to raid Uncle's fridge. Resolving to locate the local grocery store later, I opened Uncle's fridge, and within it, I found 4 people in this household, and the fridge is mostly empty? Oh no. Wait a second. There's some expired milk. And a rotten sandwich. I stand corrected. I slammed the fridge door shut and moved into the pantry. Within the pantry, I found numerous packets of chips, as well as other miscellaneous processed snacks dominating every shelf. Each snack was marked with the owner's name, Nachan, Estelle, or Dawn. So there's already a system in place for marking your own food, huh? Well, if I'm going to steal anyone's food, it should be... No, forget it. Even if I'm hungry, stealing someone else's food is the worst. With an empty stomach, I headed towards the art room. I will agree with that, because I worked at a place where people could steal your lunch if you didn't write your name on it. And it was kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, so what we got? After a short walk from the main house, I entered the art classroom, immediately greeted by the same sight as the day before. Na-chan was on the floor with her manga, Dawn sat in her seat, looking at her hands, her canvas still untouched, and Estelle was, once again, nowhere to be found. Where's Estelle? She usually doesn't come to class until noon. Estelle says she needs her beauty sleep. Noon? Seriously? We're on a deadline and the damn Gyaru is sleeping all day? My task is insurmountable as it is. A missing student is the last thing I need. Fine, you girls just wait over there. I'll be back with that slacker in no time. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's like every stereotype wrapped into one game. I re-entered the main house in search of Estelle. Between the four of us, all the rooms were taken, so it would be a simple matter of visiting each of the girls' rooms until I came across Estelle. It feels a bit awkward living in the same house as three girls. What's more, going into their rooms when they're not here seems like a pretty scummy thing to do. I hope I find Estelle's on the first go. I made my way to the first room on the bottom floor, and I then administered a quick knock on the door, and after a few seconds ticked by without a response from the other end, I knocked again. Estelle, are you in there? I'm coming in. Oh, crap. As I entered the room, I immediately spotted the sleeping figure of Estelle. And I guess this is where some of the art isn't quite completely done. This is a demo, after all. Surrounded by empty canvases and surprisingly girly decor, she slept on her side while hugging a stuffed animal. Estelle slept soundly, moaning gently as her door creaked open. The sound was not enough to wake her, nor did it merit any concern. Estelle simply continued to tightly hug her stuffed friend as her beauty sleep did its wonders. Wow, is this really Estelle? That damn Gyaru? The girl with painted nails and a foul attitude? When Na-chan said Estelle was getting her beauty sleep, I didn't expect it to work so quickly. Momentarily taken aback by Estelle's sleeping figure, I slapped my cheeks and returned to form. No matter how cute she looked while sleeping, I needed Estelle up and awake, ready to complete her sketch. Psst! Estelle! Wake up! No. Come on, Estelle, it's time for school. Let it go. As though talking to a sleeping child, I softly coaxed Estelle out of bed. However, Estelle played her role too well, answering exactly like a child would. Don't be like that. You need to get up so we can get started on your Mars. Don't lie. You can't make me. Is that right? Alright then. I won't try to talk you into coming to class anymore. You just go right back to sleep. This girl really is hopeless. Estelle's attitude sucks when she's awake, and she's just plain stubborn when she's asleep. Luckily, there are plenty of ways to get someone out of bed against their will. Am I gonna throw water to the sleeping girl? That doesn't sound. I walked back to my own room and opened my bag, then headed into the bathroom. I also took a quick look around the kitchen, all the while looking for anything useful. Alright, this should just about do it. Let's see, a toothbrush, a plastic pan, paper, pencils, shampoo, a lighter. I am MacGyver. I'm pretty sure I can come up with an idea. What should I use to wake Estelle up? Oh, I don't know. Let's use a plastic pan. It's an old prank, but it's certainly one to get someone out of bed. Am I gonna make her pee her pants? After briefly returning to the kitchen, I entered Estelle's room with a plastic pan filled with warm water. I placed the pan on Estelle's bed right by her side and gently moved her hand into the pan, careful not to wake her. No way. Aware of my presence, but seemingly oblivious to my prank, Estelle once again told me to leave. Yeah, I'm going. I softly whispered as I exited the room. Image CG cabin interior day not found. Foo-foo. Now we play the waiting game. It's only a matter of time before Estelle wets the bed, at which point she'll have no chance but to get up. Completely missing the fact that I was supposed to bring Estelle down ASAP, I waited outside her room for the inevitable to happen. And surely enough, after a few minutes... What the? Who the hell put this here? In her half-asleep state, Estelle rolled over and emptied the pan all over herself. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea after all. That prank works fine if the other person is fast asleep, but not if they move around a lot. I'd better get out of here before Estelle realizes it was me. Alright, so that piece of art was missing as well. You gotta remember, it's a demo, so I just wonder how long this demo is gonna go. Having failed to bring Estelle back to class, I returned to the sides of the two slightly less problematic girls. How did it go? Any luck waking Estelle? Lying face down on the floor, Na-chan raised her head as I approached her. Not really. That girl is more stubborn than I thought. I know, right? She needs more discipline. As she said that, Na-chan lowered her head and returned to drawing her manga. Right. Estelle isn't the only one who needs coaxing. But taking a hard line hasn't worked so far. Perhaps it's time to try a different approach. Rather than pushing these girls around, I should try to befriend them. I think right there is where I'm going to pause. So in the next episode, we're going to befriend some of these girls that are big-breasted and are basically stereotypes of other Japanese animes. Yay! But anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying Catch Canvas. I am Flog. Remember to hit that like button, comment, and of course subscribe. And I'll see you guys in another episode. Bye, everybody! There, I've got a stripper. Over there, I've got things I need to click on.